Here is a commentary on the earn schedule metric. Quibbles are missing pieces of information, criticisms, or constraints. Bits are additional pieces of information, hints, or tricks. Bits for the earn schedule metric include easy calculation, easy communication, and easy interpretation. Quibbles include analysis shortfall, estimation gap, and status conflict. Here's a bit. The earn schedule metric is easy to calculate. Take the earn value at the end of the current period, that's 300. Count the number of periods that value is greater than or equal to the planned value. That's 1, 2, 3, and so on, up to 7. Stop there because in period 8, the earned value of 300 is less than the planned value of 350. Next, look at the values in the last period counted, that's period 7. Find the difference between the earned value and the planned value. That is 300 minus 280 with 20 left over. Having value left over means a fraction of period 8 is earned. What fraction? We know that we have 20 left over, so we only need to know the amount planned for period 8. That's 350 minus 280, leaving 70. We divide what's left over by what's planned, and that gives us 0.29. Add that to the 7 already counted, and we get a total earn schedule of 7.29. Doing the calculation at the end of each period gives us these earn schedules. Bit, the earn schedule metric is easy to communicate. Use a graph. Here's one adapted from the Agile framework, a burn-down chart. The vertical axis is for schedule remaining. It starts at 0 and goes to the planned duration. The horizontal axis is for periods elapsed. It starts at 1 and goes to either the planned duration or the scheduled duration, whichever is greater. The baseline is the planned burn-down. One period is planned to be earned for each elapsed period. To get the earn schedule burn-down, subtract the cumulative earn schedule from the planned duration. The picture gives us an accurate impression of current schedule performance. Because it's visual, it avoids linguistic and cultural barriers. That makes it great for communication. Bit, the earn schedule metric is easy to interpret. If the project is earning exactly at the planned rate, the earn schedule burn and the planned burn are equal. In period 1, it's very close to equal. That's usually interpreted as being on time. If the earn schedule burn is less than the planned burn, the project is earning less schedule than planned, as in periods 2 through 6. That's usually interpreted as being late. If the earn schedule burn is greater than the planned burn, the project is earning more schedule than planned, as in period 7. That's usually interpreted as being early. Why the waffle words usually interpreted? The reason is explained in a quibble. Not right now, however. Instead, let's go on to other points. Quibble. The earn schedule metric tells us only that schedule performance is better than, worse than, or on plan. In the graph, the gap shows that schedule performance is worse than planned. But how much worse? That's only suggested by the size and the shape of the gap. How big does that gap have to be to call for action? How fast does the gap have to grow to require attention? An impression is good for communicating current status, but it's inadequate for analysis and decision support. Quibble. The earned schedule metric only hints at duration impact. How much impact does the gap represent? A day, a week, a month? That's only suggested by the size and the shape of the gap. It does not quantify the impact. But quantification is important for analysis and decision making. It's one thing to communicate current status. It's another thing to estimate future impact and decide on a response. Quibble. The earned schedule metric represents volume of value delivery, not sequence of delivery. The difference has sparked a big debate. Here's why. The graph and its interpretation are based on volume. Instead, let's look at sequence. To do so, we'll zoom up periods 7 through 10. Here is the sequence of deliverables behind the volume. In period 7, there are 4 deliverables, A, B, C, and D. They all have plan value. It's in the upper left, and it's 25 for each. And they have earned value. It's in the upper right, and it's 25 for each, except for deliverable B. It's 0. Now look at the sequence B, C, and D to F. F is planned to proceed in period 8. All of B, C, and D need to be complete, or F cannot proceed. The absence of value for B means that F cannot proceed. That's usually interpreted as being late. Here are the rest of the planned values and earned values. Note that deliverables E and G are complete, and they're complete as of period 7. Their value counts towards the earned value total of 300. As stated earlier, 300 versus 280 is usually interpreted as being early. Hence the status conflict. Is the project early or late? Charges of false or misleading have passed between the two sides. What's odd is that both sides have something in common. The assumption that there's a single determinant of schedule performance. It's either volume or sequence, not both. But why not? Here's an analogy. Have a look at these old ads. They tout a car based on fuel performance. In the ads, not one, but 2 figures represent performance: city and highway. There's no conflict because the behavior being measured differs. For city measurements, it's stop and go, fast and slow, but not a constant speed. For highway measurements, it's a constant speed, but not stop and go, fast and slow. The same can be said for schedule performance. For volume measurements, it's how much is complete, but not if the right parts are complete. For sequence measurements, it's if the right parts are complete, but not how much is complete. Different target, different measurement. In fact, although they're distinct, they are usually aligned. But because distinct, they can differ. And if they do, it's useful to find out why. The difference might indicate schedule problems. In any case, difference does not mean conflict. Here's a summary of quibbles and bits for the earned schedule metric. For bits, it's easy to calculate, communicate, and interpret. For quibbles, it has weak support of analysis and estimates at complete, and it can apparently conflict with other views of performance. For more information on other earned schedule topics, here are some references.